as difficult as it was to become homeless is as difficult as it is to accept permanent housing. In fact, it's very difficult.
Tell me your name, a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name's John McMurray, and I was homeless right here in the vicinity where we're standing for over 10 years.
In 2008, I met John in a park in Lower Manhattan. He had recently gotten himself out of homelessness and was nice enough to share some of his story.
Let me get some of the dirt off my face.
Whereabouts you're from originally?
Manhattan here. I was born and raised. When I was a youngster, my mother had a crazy idea to move from Manhattan to Rockaway Park, Queens. And one of my first jobs was as a barker at Playland. Selling like to the people the games of chance. It's a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Eventually I ended up, I was drafted and I was in the service for a while. When I came out, I suffered from mental illness for a good many years. Within the past few years, I'm starting to wake up. It's kind of hard to describe, but I don't really have a recollection of what was going on then. I'm more than positive I didn't murder anybody. And that's what helped to lead to my homelessness. That and alcoholism, drug addiction. At the moment I'm sober, but I have a lot of fears, a lot of hang-ups. And sometimes a person could be sober and just as messed up as somebody that's an alcoholic or has drug addictions. It's just a little cheaper, It's not so expensive. Right where we're standing across the street before 9/11, that's where I used to sleep, right on those steps over there. And then if I didn't sleep there, there's a park across the street. Until they renovated it and started chasing people out, I used to sleep over there or over there. And then they have missions around here too, within 20 blocks. It's a little difficult for me because of the stairs, but you never go hungry, You go in and they got a 15-minute, a half-hour service, which I always enjoyed. Because when I was a youngster, I was always church going. So if you go to these places and you sing a few hymnals, they feed you big. I can't tell you how many times I increased my waist size by a couple inches just showing up there,
When I met John, he had recently gotten himself off the street.
Whereabouts you sleep now?
Now I have a half-brother in a place called Ozone Park, Queens. And he used to be homeless here with me. And we have a basement apartment, which I'm helping contribute rent for. And it's not bad. Like I said, it's difficult for me to get used to permanent housing. Like one of the things I have to learn again is like to change my clothing regularly, to do a laundry, to clean up the house. When I finish with the newspaper, not just to leave it where I just read it. If I take my clothing off, not to leave it where I just dropped it, So many simple things that most people take for granted or think it's no big deal. It's difficult when you haven't been doing it for a long time to relearn those habits again, and do them consistently, And that's my whole problem, because I've just been on my own so long, it's hard to be accountable to anybody else but myself,
I was surprised hearing John talk about difficulties adapting to life off the street. but I can imagine sharing an apartment was a big adjustment for him.
I'm very fortunate that this half brother I have is a wonderful, loving person. So we get along very good, and I'm very fortunate.
John spent the evenings panhandling, earning money to contribute to the rent for his shared apartment.
Nobody gives you a hassle while you're here?
No, not really. The biggest problems I ever had was somebody a couple times robbed my nickels and dimes out of my cups. And I had a guy used to come in the car and throw glasses of soda at me. And that's it. Nothing else really to talk about. Like I said, I've been very fortunate,
After a little bit of panhandling, John told me a bit about the other homeless folks he used to share the park with.
I got two others that I haven't seen in a while. One we call Triple B. Then we got another guy I call the Screamer. And he walks around in any type of profanity there is. This guy will scream it. I wouldn't even want to describe some of the things that he screams out. That's pretty much the lineup of who we have down here now. That's 4 total. 2 frequent regularly and 2 infrequently. And they're around here all year. I used to be with well, not with them, but alongside them pretty much all the time. And I feel sad in the kind of way that, I stepped off or I moved on. What can you do? Sooner or later you gotta make, I'm approaching 60 now, so I don't want to be out here for the rest of my life, you know what I mean? I don't want to be a stiff in a corner, they take the John Doe grave. I'm a veteran. I mean, not that it matters much. You're dead, but I do have a guaranteed box. That's something to look forward to, Eric, I have to get back to the corner now.
It was interesting speaking with John. Looking back, I'm amazed by how many times he said he was fortunate. I'm not sure I would have that same positive view in his situation. I also find it remarkable that he felt sad for bettering his situation and moving on from his fellow park dwellers. I've always wondered what happened to John, and every time I pass through that park, I hope I might run into him again. Unfortunately, as the years go by, that becomes less and less likely.